Welcome back to Heaven Will Be Mine. Last time we finished up Saturn's route, where we completely averted the tidal reactors on our ship cells, and became something new, something alien. To those down on Earth, that is. In reality, we just became some kind of celestial being out there with everything else up in space, just to be admired from down below in the night sky. Admired. They sit up there, longing for us to come up and join them. We sit down there, just admiring them. It's really quite beautiful. Most importantly, Epteus didn't get his way. So, we've seen Pluto's side of the story, gotten her ending, where we all just hung up in Venus, waited for them to come to us, try and take us down. It's really kind of interesting that we became the scapegoats in Pluto's ending, albeit after trying to avert the plan of Nyx, which was to destabilize Earth's gravity. They became the scapegoats and lived up on Venus. Saturn's route, we managed to avert Epteus's plan. And again, we didn't even really avert it. We let it happen. We just didn't let him get his way. We didn't become the enemy. We just became something different. We found different ways to communicate other than just fighting. Now it's time to start and side with Earth and the distant, closed-off ace of Memorial Foundation, Lunaterra. Ooh. From the Division of Existential Safety, Conflict-Enabled Ship Self-Archetype Model. First flight, July 16, 1969. Place of manufacture, Sea of Crises, Earth's moon. Our hope for a throne of the soul, for the Memorial Foundation, International Space Program, and all humanity, until no one is forgotten, and all are remembered. Registering pilot. Welcome, pilot first class Lunaterra. Error! Multiple maintenance issues and critical errors detected. Notice, launch permissions are locked until addressed. List errors. Maintenance errors. There is a possible sensor failure. Several limb connections are not registering. No weapons are loaded. Critical errors. Mass alert 1. Healing failure on critical area near core. Possible bleed. Mass alert 2. Tidal core is resonating at levels harmful to the pilot. Ready manual firmware update. Running. Upgrades detected. Syncing. Accepted manual interface. Mechanism firmware update. Switch ammunition to conceptual mode. Custom sensors loaded. Dynamic limb optimization loaded. 1981.1.7 _ weapon _ loadout drivers loaded. Details. Mass alert 1. I bleed 2. Recording derived from the data burned 4-dimensionally into the womb. Wow. Suffered by this unit almost 1 year ago. Wounds self-generated by forced overloading tearing the core open during sustained conflict in the Mars-Ares regression campaign. All critical systems have naturally healed, yet the wound continues to bleed into space. Fuel efficiency lowered, healing speed reduced, and tidal reactor speed cannot be regulated, leading to the possibility of overload and increased pilot strain. It is strongly recommended that you seek the assistance of a full maintenance team. Lack of understanding of the full effects of gravitational conflict on the human gestalt means that this computer cannot provide adequate instruction on therapeutic measures. Permanently disable Mass Alert 1. Really ignore? Yes. Provide reason. I can handle it. Automatic scan alerts show that this may not be a very good reason. Would you like to provide another? No. Mass alert 1 disabled. Details mass alert 2. Tidal reactor has had unauthorized modification that is causing an unsustainable chain reaction. Notice, this ship is not equipped to handle prolonged operation at this capacity. Notice, increasing short-term output may cause long-term failures. Notice, loss of gravitational stability may cause fracturing and instability in pilot. Permanently disable mass alert 2. This mass alert cannot be disabled by pilot authorization. MF key code. Alert disabled. For record-keeping purposes, please input the reason. I'm fine. Ship self Mare Crisium is in spacefaring condition. You are clear to launch. Disable launcher OS and engage catapult. All controls given to pilot. There is a message for you. Cancel. Refused. This message will be automatically played. Europa. Letting you keep this is my gift to you, Lunatera. Your favorite and loosest leash. Prove to be you'll learn not to choke on it. Oh, incoming message. Standing orders updated. If it's that urgent, it's too late. If it's not too late, it can wait. Let me enjoy the view of the rings. They are beautiful, even though there's only so long you can watch them before even the sight of the sixth planet's rings becomes boring as a blue sky. Mare Crisium's sensors render them in every detail, using every sense, as perfectly as she always has. You really are getting old, aren't you? Both me and you. I should probably listen to Control, throw you out, and get a new one. That doesn't seem right. You're only supposed to get one body. Even if I haven't been very good to you, I could never throw you out. We're all we've got. The Mare Crisium is the test-type model. It was made as a proof of concept. It isn't the first vessel made to grant humans locomotion and life in space, but it is the first to allow for outward expression. In all kinds of ways. You can do so many things, and they gave it devices for everything, because they hadn't estimated how powerful tidal engines would become, or what sort of things humans would really want to do in space. It's the first machine meant for conflict. It's also the last machine that was meant for other things, too. A ceremonial tin soldier, made to impress. An impossible-to-use machine. Mind-machine or biofeedback interfacing is necessary to give humans control over a second body. But the Mare Crisium is done completely manually, which is completely unique to the other two ship selves that we know of here. It makes Lunatera sort of a genius, and sort of an idiot, and she can't do things any other way. I'm having so much fun. It's hard to believe it's going to be over so soon. Oh, I love it when old things are over, and new things begin. Open the channel. Let's hear these standing orders. Oh. Yep, the return resolution from Memorial Foundation. Fighting the existential threat since the 50s. Time to return to Earth. Decommission the space program. There's no future. Let's go. Let's come home. Cradle's Graces. We're thankful for our Cradle's Graces, but we're not coming back. We made tidal reactors. We have the lunar gravity well, which could realistically lead to new colonies in space. Earth or space, we're just short of 100% humans. Let's see how much less than 100% we can get. The existential threat posed by a divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. The existential threat is born entirely from us, from humanity. So to keep humanity from being divided in space, we this is an interesting sound effect. Ooh, okay. What? Just come and get me. All for error. Oh, you think you're so cool, don't you? Well, watch your back, because I'm coming for you. Think that #1 position is going to last? Not a chance. In fact, why don't we have a little duel about it if you're not too scared? Come meet me in the shadow of Olympus Mons, and I'll make sure that this time you're the one left splattered and helpless and pinned on the side of the mountain, and not me, like the last 9 times. And would it kill you to, like, stick around for a bit after? You smug jerk. Not that I'm planning on losing. This time I'm gonna beat you, Baka. Cold War Ace reports Lunaterra. She was unremarkable. I did not remember her at first. We took any of those who wanted badly to live in space and did not fit on Earth. In retrospect, we were asking for a rather unique quality. And it is not just a coincidence that she was there. Pilots had to be young adults, pass a physical, and not care what space might do to their body. It's not so surprising that someone like her would emerge from that pool of people. The woman you know today has been iterated on since she was an adolescent. Be assured I saw nothing of promise in her when I first met her. I told her that myself, as I told all the students. I am uninterested in your potential. We are judged by the self we create. I find that encourages brats to not take their specialness so seriously. That was not Lunaterra's problem. Piece by piece, she created someone very interesting to be. We gave those children permission, and Lunaterra was simply unique in her execution. She was never encouraged. She was never punished. We will never find another prodigy like Lunaterra by looking for tidily sensitive children. Because they do not exist. We will not find them pre-made. They must create themselves. Was this not the dream of the Memorial Foundation space program? Lunaterra started out completely unremarkable by this report and made herself the ace. Made herself this strong. Justification for return. Earth is not the sphere of our home planet. It is not the physical body, which is called Terra, the home of life. It is not measured in mass, or by its gravity, its position in the universe. Earth is us. We measure Earth by culture. We are the Earth. Humanity, the particles of its mass, and by our gravity its body is formed. By our diversity and multiplicity, Earth exists. Living miracle of humanity's shared power, insignificant unless we are joined. The International Space Program, with representatives all across Earth, represents our commitment to peace, that humanity will never seek again to destroy itself. That humanity has the right to eternal life, invincible bodies, and unrestricted movement in space, as humanity expands beyond this sphere, as extensions of the universal human rights of life, culture, and freedom. To protect the growth and sanctity of all culture, ensure a future for humanity and the defeat of our enemy. On that day, this day, we inaugurate the International Memorial Foundation Space Program. On justification for return. Earth is us. We measure Earth by culture. This message is a contradiction in itself. On this day, we inaugurate the International Memorial Foundation Space Program. Humanity has the right humanity will never seek to destroy itself. That message just screams the contradiction. Oh, hello, Europa. So you really have betrayed us, haven't you? Oh my. I've never betrayed anyone in my entire life. Pilot first class, don't send me messages. Oh my, Europa. Director of Combat Operations, Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. Not your mom. I've never betrayed anyone in my entire life. Ha. Ha. But seriously, whose side are you on right now? It sounds so accusatory to put it like that. You know I'm fine with you being on whoever's side you choose. So I can destroy them and drive you back to... Oh, that's uncomfortable. That may end up being a lot of people. What, you don't think I'm up for it? Don't worry yourself about that part, kitten. Uh-oh. If you want me to defect back, you can always just ask. Oh, sweet girl, I'm not interested in coming back so you can walk away again. How many times did Hellabede fall for that? It shouldn't count as tricking her if she knew it was coming every time. Oh, stop it. I hate it when you're modest. It's so beneath you. Give her at least the dignity of a subtle seduction. I would have. That's not what she wanted. She really ought to think about her reputation more. If I remember correctly, Hellabede was the princess of Cradle's Grace? No, of, Memorial Foundation. It's interesting. And what more is there to say about that trail of messages you leave? But my disappointment in you both is total. My adorable failures, what am I to do with you? You should go easy on her. I live to spoil her. Makes no difference that everything she deserves will be visited on you. Wouldn't dream of not letting you have that. You have to know by now how aware I am of what you want and deserve. You're so good to me, Europa. I don't deserve it. When I double-cross you again, be sure to really let me have it. I hope you do. But I take no chances with loyalty. Hellabede really hopes you will change. I think it's charming that even you believe that might have some effect on you. But I know much better than you, kitten. I wouldn't let you return no matter how much you beg until you have no other choice. When you can't pivot or run or trick your way through, when you can't second guess or lie, that's the only way to change that nature of yours. Wow! Wow! I don't like you at all, Europa. That does not sound like a healthy relationship. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Holy shit. Cat and mouse with renegade ship thief Saturn? Or... Yes, these are definitely the same missions. Are you ready to spin backwards? Pluto time. What's going on? You've been pestering me with orders, so what's the sudden hold-up? Central said to launch immediately. We have to get to the Celestial Mechanics Lab, regardless of whether or not the prototype is already gone. There's valuable information there, but it's worthless if Cradle's Graces gets there first. Have some patience, Lunaterra. The Cradle's Graces carrier just launched a completely unknown ship self. This can't be right. A person can't pilot a ship that big. The tidal resonance would tear the pilot apart. Is this... impossible, I hope? I've never seen anything like it. I know you can't fight it, Lunaterra, so don't even think about it. Any better ideas? You must be headed for wherever the prototype launched, right? Where else? Because they have to know that it already escaped. Don't underestimate your opponent, Lunaterra. Scavenging the lab may be useful anyway. We should have gone there, for information if nothing else. Even against an unknown and objectively stronger enemy, what makes you so sure, Lunaterra? No particular reason. Or a single particular reason? Still don't trust me? Don't insult your former instructor, Lunaterra. I knew how much to trust you before you betrayed us to Cradle's Graces. My opinion hasn't changed because we welcomed you back into the fold. My best pilot and worst student, you've never been predictable except in your consistency for trouble. But it's a reliable metric. You're right. You know me. So if you're worried, don't have to let me have free reign like this. Since you were a kid, from your earliest academy days, you've never been able to look in my eyes and lie. You only got away with anything by keeping your mouth shut. Very unlike Pluto, the hope of Kratos' graces. She could lie right to my face, with a smile, if she thought it was for the best. Pluto exceeded the wildest expectations of the pilot program, so much so that it was decommissioned in part because of her. If celestial mechanics have successfully built a monster that can withstand her, this engagement will end in disaster. And that is much more terrifying than this machine you're so eager to fight. That concerns me far more than you betraying us, or fighting a battle you can't possibly win. I don't think any of you really understood what you were doing. Pluto is unreal. She's far more overwhelming than any of you understood. If that ship is unworthy of Pluto, it's going to be torn apart under the pressure of her, not the other way around. Pluto is the only real human being. No wonder she feels so alien when she looks at us. You want me to let you take an impossibly dangerous mission because you think you can save our enemy? What am I to say to that? Maybe she can teach you the lesson I can't. I still don't like you. Like waking up underwater to the wet burn of your lungs' desperation for air. Like floating untethered in space, unable to move under your own power. Losing the security of gravity is like being naked in space. Gravity is necessary for human life. In space, gravity is necessary for unrestricted movement in space. Can't have one without the other. The force that binds your existence together, the force to shape foreign bodies, pure agency. Gravity is necessary not just to live in space, but to be human in space. But being human is a little harder for Pluto, so she has to work for it. The tidal force of her spacefaring body, the Krun Macula, are as strong as she believes, and as weak as she feels. And Lunaterra needs to make sure all the calculations are in order. Everything in her ship operates manually. She's just been at it long enough that it feels like a second skin. The jolt of nostalgia interrupts Lunaterra's mental math. She forgets to carry the one. It interrupts Pluto's focus, and she has a moment where she's not invincible. Close enough to touch the surface of the moonland, Lunaterra is seen and known by Pluto, and they are suddenly falling down the well of too late and nothing you can do. I knew it. Warning! Gravitational interference! It's important to get a grip. Knowing that there's nothing you can do is something Pluto considers freeing, and Lunaterra considers exciting. Feeling doomed is clear permission to do whatever. As soon as Mare Crisium is through the cloud cover, she fires solid light into the remains of the Celestial Mechanics lab, and chases it through the wound. The lab was recently damaged by the illegal launch of a hijacked ship. That damage is barely noticeable compared to the massive hole left by a much, much larger ship crashing through. Lunaterra acts fast under pressure. If there's no point in hiding, there's no point in stopping. It's true. Lunaterra is living on the whim of Krun Macula, which can probably do whatever to her at any time. If she can't run away, she wants to make the first move. It's the sort of thing that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and no sense at all if you think a little more. But that's Lunaterra, isn't it? She's betting you'll think too much, or not enough. Against Pluto, is that really such a good idea? She's someone who always thinks just enough. It makes it easy for Lunaterra to slip through, deep into the lab, until it gets quiet except for the sound of the moon quaking and trembling. After almost a year, the dread and thrill is way too much to slow down and start talking. That's what the arrow flying into Pluto's gravity's well is saying. Who will make the first move? When Lunaterra punctures the last armor layer and opens up the terminal cavern, light spills out, and screaming sound, because the Krun Macula is peeling the lab and most of the moon inside out with the forces of its own tides. It's not something that's impossible or anything, it's just something that's only possible in theory, which is still terrifying. More terrifying. And more terrifying than that power is Pluto's finesse. More terrifying than the finesse is her gentleness, spooling matter like threads in the tiny galaxy of which she is the sun. Her power is very kind, but it's also a little perverse. What meaning does mercy have from something that can core out a moon? Krun Macula's developers compared it to a black hole. They wanted a machine so powerful and absolute, even light couldn't escape it. Lunaterra understands now that was wrong. She's a star, gushing and twinkling with matter and light. Who wouldn't be swept up in that? The Mare Crisium is so small. Pluto has never seen it from a perspective like Krun Macula's before. She never imagined it would look so fragile from here, like a toy version of the fierce fighter she remembered. Pluto's sense of scale is true. Lunaterra feels like just a plastic toy, too. Come on, say something. It's making me sad. It really does fit you. So much more than I ever thought. Is it hard to look away? Being able to render you speechless is the power I've always dreamed of. What do you think? I know just a look won't change your mind, but I want you to tell me. Tell you what? That I regret betraying you? I told you then. I always would. No, I won't let you do that, Lunati. Did you think I'd be mad? I mean, of course I'm mad at you, but not for anything you did to me. I wouldn't ever be mad at you for not having enough faith in me to see through Cradle's Grace's dream of a new home for humans in space. I'm just mad at you for not having enough faith in yourself to see it through, and leaving all the work to me. Oops, I guess that is why I'm a little upset with you. Not mad, you know. Just disappointed. I can't believe I'm still the one scolding you like a kid. I'm trying to be the grown-up, you know. I did the responsible thing. I took the realistic option. I'm here to play the part of the boring adult, the grown-up villain. Oh, that's right. I remembered why I actually am mad at you. You better not go down quietly. You better really believe what you just said. I'll forgive you if you left us for something stupid, but I'll never forgive you if you left us for something you don't believe in. And you better not believe in it, because I also won't forgive you for fighting for a future that cruel. That doesn't leave me a lot of options. I don't think I can fight against that. Don't you dare. I won't forgive that either. Were you hoping, maybe, that it wouldn't be like this? That I wouldn't have to fight? It'll change you. In ways you don't understand. I've seen you fight so many times. I saw when you got that scar and your poor ship got her wound. Has anyone else seen that side of you as much as me? I don't think so. Not even Europa. But it's different when you're on the other side. You think I don't really know you, because I've never stared down the barrel of your rifle or felt that knife nick my ship? It's a different kind of knowing. Teach me then, or I'll teach you. Well, obviously we're gonna teach her. What's it gonna be, Lunati? Oh, right. You never want to make the first move. Then I can go. Pluto sweeps up the swirling, tumbling matter in the hollowed-out moon. Making the second move has always worked for Lunaterra. She's never been good at setting the pace, only outsmarting it. So it's the only move to make. Even still, maybe there aren't any winning moves. Lunaterra has to be ready for that possibility. The Krun Macula is a very impossible sort of machine, almost as impossible as Pluto. Krun Macula can grind space-time to a crawl with its tidal forces. Krun Macula can pull ambient matter into a whirl, with enough friction for the combustion to give birth to a star. Emotionally, and almost as much physically. A tiny sun is born. But Lunaterra has just gotten out of the way. Lunaterra isn't where Pluto is expecting. And then there's suddenly a hail of bullets in her skull. Ooh, Pluto doesn't mind the onslaught, but it's still shocking. But not in an unpleasant way. It's actually very joyful. Really? Really? You're not just trying to scare me? For real, not a joke. We're finally going to have a fight about it? Is this body so me that you finally aren't going to be weird about fighting it? Lunaterra thinks Pluto could use a lesson in how terrifying actual combat can be. But is there anyone terrifying enough to teach it to her? Are you trying to hide from me? I've been waiting for a real fight. I'm tired of you telling me you think I'm right. If you really thought that, you'd be here, on my side. So prove I'm wrong already. Or admit defeat. Bullets through her arm and chest and pretty much everywhere, but that is not a problem. Tear the bullets, even if they're light, redirect them with gravity, pull them into a cosmic whirl. They will never even reach her. They will always be approaching, never meeting. They will be on an infinite whirl. And that whirl will become a star, washing the Mare Crisium in heat and light and radiation. Ah, that's more like it. Not fast enough, Pluto. And then she runs Pluto through. Oh! It's not enough, but it hurts. It's serious. A brittle spear is of a cold and rational metal that repels cosmic concepts. Thank God. I was beginning to worry you didn't care about anything anymore. So here. The star supernovas! Krun Macula holds the star, and Krun Macula is the star. Lunaterra almost doesn't get out of it. Her engines overheat, the electromagnetic current shorts her sensors, and her chassis is fried. But she can move more than Pluto can, at least for long enough to get away. But I'm still ahead of you. Oh, she's pouting. Now I know why everyone hates you so much. You're no fun to fight with at all. Are you kidding? Like you fight fair. Fucking making stars and making them blow up. Well, I've just got a spear and a gun that shoots bullets, and you're just throwing stars at me. Now that I know what you're really like, I'm not going to accept anything less. I don't want to do that again. Well, too bad. Whose fault is that? Yeah, I know. Whew, that was fun. I got more mail to read. First generation pilot candidate interviews. More about Luna. Why did you want to go into space? I want a new start. In what sense? To get rid of this weight. We are required to make it clear that the purpose of the program is not to leave Earth, but to expand it. The weight will follow you. But will it weigh differently? Please explain what you mean about what you said previously. About what? What do you mean when you say you don't want to be me? Huh? I don't know how else to say it. Isn't it obvious? Who would want to be this? I don't understand what you see that is wrong. I don't understand what you see that is wrong with you. I do. Aha. You are saying that you, as you are, the person who you are, doesn't want to be you. Yes. Then you aren't that person, but that person weighs on me. So you would like to have the weight of being this other person, that you are not. You would like that removed. Yes, please. That may be possible. LT wanted to go to space. part of herself behind. Training Director Europa. The Cold War is looking bleak. The threat from space is more flimsy, translucent, and inscrutable. When once it was so strong that all of humanity feared it, existential threats on Earth are more pernicious than ever, and the scouts are not keeping up. It has become difficult to argue against the possibility that the scouting program has done more harm than good. And that goes just as much, if not more so, for the pilot program. Historically, death has always invited the enemy here at its greatest strength. Humans can't resist killing each other long enough to protect themselves from the existential threat. It's easy to make this argument, but we have had little success with it. No matter how celebrated the slogan is, no matter how many governments and leaders profess to live by it, the simple fact remains, the existential threat can never be as powerful as we are. Humans will always pose a greater threat to other humans than the existential threats will. It will always be easier for humanity to eliminate the threat by killing their own than by fighting the threat directly. While we have offered children and the unwanted to fight the existential threat with existential intent, humanity has turned its gaze inward rather than to the heavens. Not even strong enough to pierce the atmosphere without burning, the existential threat can no longer be labeled as such. For those reasons, we accept the decision to decommission the Memorial Foundation space program. Again, this seems mislabeled. Pilot program progress. Cold War threat from space is flimsy, translucent, inscrutable. Once it was so strong that all of humanity feared it. All of humanity feared it, and they all came together to support the Cold War, the war to fight against the threat in space. It brought us together. Then, inevitably, the existential threats between us took over, and we reverted to fighting each other over these little threats. Excited to be out in the field again, doing important work. We're a long way from anything important out here. I can't help but notice. You think Command wants you as far away from them as they can get you? What makes you think that? That you said it. That Command is my ex. And that I did once double-cross Memorial Foundation. In that case, you should be happy you're in the field at all, not in a brig, or in the process of being shipped back to Earth. Well, I am. I'm so thankful I don't need to be lied to about my work being important. Oh, I would never lie about a thing like that. In fact, the most lovely sixth planet of our solar system, Cronus, has become extremely busy in the past 24 hours. A major leak out of celestial mechanics has revealed they're finishing a prototype here, and Cradle's Graces knows about it too. Apparently the Hellion responsible for that leak has stolen it too. You're just the woman for the job. Reining in incorrigible pilots is your specialty. Let's see if that power can be used for good for once. Europa, please leave some of me left to fight the enemy. Don't shoot me down before the mission starts. Was I too mean? I would prefer direct combat any day. Well, let me tell you something nice then. That Cradle's Grace's superweapon, your favorite, has been spotted in the system. My favorite? What do you mean? Don't play dumb. You make the same face whenever Chronmacula is spotted. It's the biggest mystery of their side. One of the only reasons Cradle's Graces hasn't collapsed by now. The Chronmacula's power is unreal. It's far stronger in reality than anything that could possibly have been projected from its original schematics. Its capabilities seem endless and impossible to predict or counter. And no one knows who the pilot is. The list of people who could pilot something like that is very short, however. Maybe it's someone you know? Question mark? Worried I might double-cross you again? I'm not with Cradle's Graces anymore for a reason. I just never trust you when girls are involved. bit more businesslike this time, but I still don't really like you, Europa. You're kind of a prick. Reigning an incorrigible pilot. Let's see if that power can be used for good. Command is my ex. Is that Halamede? Who was discussed last time? Interesting. Wonder if we'll get to personally meet Halamede. Then again, she might end up being a satellite character as we have all our conversations with this wonderfully pleasant woman, Europa. I think we will call this here for now. This has been our opening dive down Lunaterra's route. My throat's getting sore, so we're going to take a rest. Next time, we'll see our first encounter with Saturn from Lunaterra's perspective.